YouTubers. Yes, back. Just feeling a bit better, still a bit. As you can see, it says emotional. It's that stuff I watch on Netflix about the brothers killing their parents. I'll talk about that in a minute. I'm not going to talk about what happened to me when I was a child because I've done a video on that, and if you search, you'll see it, what happened. But I'm just going to talk how if you went through things like that, abuse, mental torture and all that stuff, to me it's same, because your mind is not all there, and it's just to tell you that there's some trigger stuff. Because when I went to work on Sunday, I don't know how I got to work, because I went to work, my body was there but my mind wasn't there. And I was talking to my friend Rachel, and I said I have a little place in my head where it's called a happy place, and I go there when I'm down and stuff like that. So yeah, so I'll be talking about that in a moment. As you can see, Suki's there. Smudgy's been all right. Took him to the vet on Monday because I had a day off Monday, and yesterday I was supposed to be in, but she said no, take your cat, because I said if I can't have a day off, I'll have a sick day. And I took Mudge Monday. They tried to hold his claw and everything, and he was growling. They couldn't, she said, oh, we couldn't even get that near. He was growling like a dog. So I took him in yesterday. I had to starve him from 11 o'clock. They said 12, so I did 11. Took him in. They put him under sedation. They called me, and he was flat out, like he was dead, his tongue, everything. And they took the claw out. He had an ingrown claw. I don't know how long it was there, because he doesn't let me touch his paw or nothing. So they said we took it out. They give injection, because he asked if I can give him tablet. I said no. I said I have to give Licky Licks and the tablets. So he give an injection. He said that should be all right. That will last 2 days. So he's a bit sleepy today, and he's been eating. And they said if he start limping on the leg and that, just tell him and take him back. So yeah, so took him yesterday. Today today was my day off, so I didn't have to go in. She said no, because I do 16 hours. And she said you don't want to go over your hours, because you lose your, because I get universal credit as well, because I don't do so many hours. Because if it's funny, if you do so many hours, you get tax, and you don't get universal credit to help you with your rent. If you don't do so many hours, you get universal credit, but you don't pay much tax. Why don't you just let you earn what you have, so you can survive? So they still have to give you some benefits, and not stupid, isn't it? And as you can see, Suki got a little blanket I got from Asda. I pick it up. She loves it. She does. And yeah, and the table is getting ridiculous. This is 6 months. I had it. It had to go back, because 6 months ago, it took 6 months for it to come. When it come 6 months ago, it was all damaged, scratch, everything. And I had to send it back. Still waiting 4 months ago. So Friday will be 10 months for the table. Rachel got hers, and she said it's ridiculous. And she said it's... What? You message him, he don't answer. He don't get back to you. He said, oh, your table's ready. Let me know what day you got off. So I told him, and he still not got back. He hasn't got back about it. So we don't know. So we keep saying, so we're going to send another message. I'm sitting by the window, so when people go past, I keep looking. Nosy. I was like that in Rickman Drive. And yeah, so... he's not answering the message. He's not getting back to us or nothing. So tell him that I'm off Monday. Hopefully they're going to come and do the door, because they say it's going to take 5 hours to do the door. So I don't know if they're going to give me a new door or what. So I've sent her and said I'm off Monday. Saturday I'm going to go to Aintree for the last time. See the Halloween stuff, everything. Then Sunday I can go to the car boot. Got to find a pair of shoes. And Monday, and then back. We got 2 new housekeepers. So we see how long they will stay. Because I saw the rota, and they got 2 new ones. So see how long they will last. Because one girl left, she got another job. I thought I wish I could leave and get another job. But I'll stay there till I retire. Because that job is not too bad. It's just that you get so many rooms to do. You don't have a break. You're tired all the time. But like Sunday, I was on my own. So I just went in my little happy world. And yeah, so that's what's been happening. The cat and everything. Suki's all right. Right, so I will talk about what I've been watching, which has made me really feeling a bit low. I think what will happen, I won't be happy till I'm dead. I know it sounds drastic and that, but I think once I die, I think I will be more happy because I moved to Liverpool to get away from what happened. I ain't got the memories of seeing the places, but I still got the memory of what happened to me, and it's like a trigger warning. So when I watch the part, this, I'll put clips of it, and you can see what I'm talking about. So I'm just gonna put clips so you can see, and I don't know what order they're being, but the one that I like is this one when he sing with his brother, and that one I'll put it up now. You can listen to it.
Let her walk away. Now it just don't feel the same. Gotta blame it on something. Gotta blame it on something. Blame it on the rain that was falling. Blame it on the stars that didn't shine that night.
I like that bit. I've downloaded the music. It was Vinny. I can never say them name. Them two who couldn't sing, and they had to take the Grammy. Mini Vanilli, girl, you know it's true. I've downloaded that and I keep it. It's makes me smile. I don't know why. It's make me smile, and I'll put it up. You can listen to it, and then I'll tell you why. And yeah, that makes me smile because I was telling Rachel, and she said, well, if that makes you feel better when you're down, she said that's a good thing to do, because some people might think it's silly, but to me it helps me. Because what I do, I've got a little place in my head, and I call it my happy place. I've got no brother or sister, so what I do, I make up like I've got a brother, and things like that make me smile and make me feel a bit better. I put it in my little memory. So like that one now I just showed you with him singing with his brother, I will put that in the back of my head, and when I feel down, that will come out, and I will think of it. It's like a little, I've got like a little world of my own, because sometimes Paul say, oh, you're in a world of your own, and I thought if he only knew. And it's like a little happy place. I've got like a little world of my own in my head, and I go there when I'm down. And that one now, I will go there and it be me, like my brother singing and everything. I always wish I had a brother, because to tell you the truth, I would have done what they did, and I would have done the same. Because it's all right people saying, oh, you can get away, but okay, they was rich, but they couldn't, because the father was rich and he could get them out of trouble. They went and steal and he got them out of trouble. But on Monday they're gonna talk the because these are actors, and the brothers are gonna talk. But people like that, you can't get away. People say, oh, just get away. You can't, because like him now, he's rich, and if the sons had told anyone, because he told a cousin, the cousin told the mother, and she said, oh, they're lying, so they didn't say anything. If they went to the police or went to authorities, the father would say, well, they're young lads, they're just in because they want my money to get spending and have that. So they would listen to the father, wouldn't listen to the sons, because they would say, well, they're saying that because they want to get money. They can't get the money, so they're telling lies about the dad to get him locked up or something. Because my dad was the same, because he got my mom nearly put in a mental home. Because when the police come, they listen to him, because he always said, oh, I was in the army with uniform. And once he said he's in uniform, the police write to him, because they know soldiers and police get on, don't they? I know soldiers kill people, so police keep the peace. So when they talk, they listen to him. So I couldn't, because when he said to me, you can't say anything, because if you say anything, nobody believe you, because I will say, oh, you young girl, and I tried to stop you. He told me what he would have said to them. He said, I will tell them that you want to go out and meet boys and that. And they would believe him, because being a young girl, they think, oh yeah, she's trying to lie about that. So they got you in a corner. They've got you where you can't say anything. People say, oh, well, like women who get abused from their husband, their boyfriend. They can't, because anywhere they go, nobody believe them. They will say, oh, the bruises, the husband or the boyfriend. So she fell down the stairs. Or when she get drunk, they will listen to the man. It's now very still. It's some people still frightened. It's all right. People say, oh, go and tell, like them two now. They're rich, because they lived in Beverly Hills. They're rich. They was tied, because he was a big record producer. He had money. He was firm with his workers and everything. But outside, people saw him, and they think he was a nice person, like my dad. They think, oh yeah, nice family, everything. But inside, there's like a devil. So I'll put this clip and show you what he went through, because the psychologist, because people say you can fake it. So this clip I'll put and you can see, because I'm going to put little clips because I don't want to talk too much, so you can see. And then if you've got Netflix, watch it. But if you go through anything like abuse or mental torture, and that, that's why I put trigger warning on it, because they should have put trigger warning. They didn't, because I didn't even know what trigger warning meant until I went on to Google and said, why? Because I see things that say trigger warning. When I watch it, I start crying. And then now I know what it means. It means there's something in there could set you off. So this bit, when he cries, which is sad, because this bit I was searching, because when I was younger, my dad wouldn't let us watch certain news. Now I can see why. Stop us finding out things. And I didn't know about these until lately. Because I heard the story. People say, oh, they kill their parents because they want the money. And I didn't take much notice, And because Jeffrey Dahmer, I saw that one about when he killed a kid, the men, and Ted Bundy and Gacy. It's only now I start watching these stuff to see, because I get interested in it to see why the brain, some people can just, like me now, tomorrow I get ready to go to work, do my job, come home, take my dog out, sit down, watch telly. Some people get up, get ready, get in their car to go and kill someone. And I always find that fascinating. I think it might sound silly, but I find it fascinating how the brain can make a person do that. And there's some people get ready to go to work, some people get ready to kill someone. And I think, strange. It's like soldiers, isn't it? They're trained to kill people, so, or keep the peace, or what you want to call. But soldiers, yeah, they go in fight. And look at them, they combat, their brain is not right. And my dad used to say, oh, I was in the army, my brain's not right, and this. And I was abused as a child, my father beat me and that. And I was talking to a soldier, and he said, no. He said, soldiers don't do that. He said, your dad is sick in the head. He said, he's not, no, he's giving us a bad name. It's not, oh, so she's checking. I just had a message up about my door Monday, so I'll see. Might come and do the door, so I don't know if I'll get a new door. So yeah, so I'll put this one up, I was saying. So I'll put this bit up, you can see, and see what it went through. People don't know it, so I'll just put clips of it, you can see.
Watching today are clips from both Eric Menendez and Lyle Menendez. We're going to be looking at some of the more intense parts of them on the stand, because some people believe that they're not telling the truth. They don't believe that they were actually abused. Some people believe that they wanted their parents' money, and that's why the murders occurred. The first person we're going to be analyzing today is Eric Menendez. I do want you to keep in mind that he is going to be discussing graphic sexual abuse.
She was real nasty after a relationship with Kirsten and I ended. And she would say, what are you, gay? Or what are you not man enough for?
So you look at his brow right now, the anger. When he is impersonating his mother, he sees her as being angry towards him. That seems very real.
For her, you're just not a man enough person to be with her. Is this what your problem is? She would really.
There's a lot of emotion there when he's talking about this. He's shaking his head. He's furrowing his brow. When he's impersonating somebody, he really seems to be getting into how it must have felt to be on the other end of that, or how he perceived her.
And why was that, if you know?
It's because I didn't understand what was happening with my father.
And what do you...
So, as he's talking about his father, you're seeing his eyes close a bit. When we think or remember things that we don't like, it's very common for us to close our eyes. It's almost a way that we're trying to block the thoughts. Obviously, it doesn't actually work in that way, but it's something unconscious that we tend to do. Watch this right here.
And why was that, if you know?
It's because I didn't understand what was happening with my father.
And what do you mean you didn't understand it? And did these concerns about whether or not you were gay, did this bother you?
Yeah, it was on my mind a lot.
As you can see, he's looking down. We oftentimes see this when people are losing confidence, when they're feeling shame. And given the context, this makes sense.
With you is taunting you with being gay.
I was real confused. I didn't think that what Dad and I was...
So, once again, you're going to see the anger in his brow when he talks about this.
I was real confused. I didn't think that...
So this can be a look of concentration, but it can also be a look of anger. And it's consistent that when he's talking about this, he feels angry. And so one of the things that you wouldn't do if you were on the stand and you were trying to come across as sympathetic is you would try to look sad. You would try to feel sad. You wouldn't try to appear angry during periods like this, which lends legitimacy to the fact that when people fake these types of behaviors, when they fake these types of emotions, they tend to fake them wrong. This is very consistent with someone who was abused. Let's keep watching.
That what Dad and I was doing was a gay thing. I thought,
When your father called you, did you ever answer him back in your head?
yes.
What did you say?
I said to them, what the hell are you?
Now,
One thing to keep in mind also is that the speed and rhythm at which he is able to reply to these questions, there's nothing done for dramatic effect. There's no pondering of this. He knows exactly and consistently what happened and what he's going to say. And there is something powerful to that. He's looking at the attorney. He's not looking around at everybody trying to put on a performance. He is responding to questions consistently and quickly. And the way that he's doing it all speaks to someone speaking the truth.
when you were 13 to 15 and the rough sex was happening, did you, based on things your father was doing, did you form some opinion about his experience in these matters?
I didn't hear the first part of the question.
All right. Up until this point, if there's anything that you are going to find convincing from a psychological standpoint as being authentic, it's the past 10 seconds that we just watched. We're going to watch it again, and I'm going to explain thoroughly exactly what I believe we're seeing. This is nuanced and subtle and very consistent with someone who has experienced serious trauma and has post-traumatic stress issues. Let's go back, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm seeing.
13 to 15 and the rough sex was
All right. So as soon as she starts mentioning that between those ages that the rough sex is happening, he starts leaning his head down,
happening.
starts scratching his head. This is a pacification behavior, and it's one that he has not been showing during the other things that have been discussed so far. But this one is particularly distressing.
Did you, based on things your
Taking in a deep breath, he has his eyes closed. This is all very consistent with someone who's experienced trauma. But keep watching for 1 second.
father was doing, did you form some opinion about his experience in these matters?
I didn't hear the first part of the question.
All right. I didn't hear the first part of the question. This is absolutely consistent with someone who is dissociating. And when, for those of you who don't understand what dissociation is, basically there's a variety of ways that we can dissociate. But when someone has been through serious trauma, our consciousness can become a little bit altered after that when we are revisiting those periods of time, whether it's that we're having flashbacks or images are popping in or questions are being asked. But this is truly a moment where he, in a literal sense, could not hear the first part of that question. Not that he wasn't paying attention, not that he was not wanting to answer it, but he could not hear it. And for people that have PTSD, this likely looks very familiar. And I do not believe that he has the sophistication to fake that. I don't think, particularly in this year, that he was going to be able to find the kind of knowledge on how to fake that subtly. I still don't think people, generally speaking, can fake these kinds of things well anyway. But this, to me, more than anything else we've seen, this is a very compelling and what appears to me to be a very genuine reaction to post-traumatic stress. I'm going to go back so you can watch it one more time, and then we'll keep going.
13 to 15 and the rough sex was happening, did you, based on things your father was doing, did you form some opinion about his experience in these matters?
I didn't hear the first part of the question.
Are you hearing okay right now?
Yeah.
Your Honor, perhaps we could take a break briefly.
I'm not sure what everybody's smiling and laughing about, but I do not take this that he's smiling, that he got one over on somebody. You can hear other people in the courtroom laughing. So I'm not really sure what was happening, but I don't want you to overread what's going on right there. I don't think that that's meaningful in any sort of sense in relation to everything that's being talked about. So there's obviously a lot we could go into with Eric Menendez's testimony, but I wanted to show just this part because this would be one area where he would be most likely to lie. If these were things that didn't actually happen and he was talking about it, we would see behavior that was not consistent with him telling the truth. What we saw was behavior very consistent with someone that was not only abused, but likely has significant post-traumatic stress issues and is having dissociation while on trial. Now we're going to be watching some testimony provided by Lyle Menendez. I do want you to keep in mind that his testimony is even more graphic than his brother's.
That was really all that mattered, was the firstborn, and that the sons should do what the fathers say, and then they grow up and they become like the father, and the father teaches them and molds them, and someday me and my son do the same.
So once again, very similar to Eric Menendez, his body language is all working in concert. Sometimes we see it when people are lying. Things are out of sync, they're asynchronous, things don't quite have the right rhythm. So far, everything that Lyle Menendez is saying has the rhythm of someone who's telling the truth. Let's keep going.
And between the ages of 6 and 8, did your father have sexual contact with you?
So even before she finished what she was saying, between the ages of 6 and 8, he knew what was coming because they'd already been talking about things of a sexual nature before this. But he starts chewing on his bottom lip. And that is a way that we comfort ourselves. This is something that is going to be uncomfortable for him to talk about. You can already see tears welling up in his eyes. You can already see him trying to pacify himself. And he hasn't answered yet. So the timing of the way that he's doing this is consistent with someone who's telling the truth. Let's keep going.
Me, and he would feel me, and he would ask me to do the same with him, and I would touch him, and we would undress.
Where would this
And it
take
was-
place?
In my bedroom.
So one thing I want you to keep in mind, I talk oftentimes about people putting on a performance, that sometimes when people are talking about things that happened or things they claimed happened, or when they're lying on the stand, there's a certain performative element to the way that they're behaving, what they're saying, that there are things that are subtly off. I have not observed any of that with Lyle Menendez's testimony so far.
And how often would this happen?
And see, you saw him cover his mouth just now. Oftentimes people do that when they don't want to say something. And he is explaining things that are very shameful and embarrassing to him, I am sure. Talking about these things has got to be embarrassing. So that reaction, covering his mouth like that, felt very natural. It didn't come in a dramatic moment. It seemed like it just unconsciously happened. Watch this again.
And how often would this happen?
He wants to pacify himself more than he can, and he's trying to get the emotion to calm down.
I'm not sure exactly at what time, but almost close to when I was 7.
And how did it change?
Just became more involved.
What do you mean more involved?
All right, so you see the big breath in. When she's asking the questions as it got more intense, similar to when she was talking to his brother, as things got more intense, his heart starts beating. He's going to have to take in deeper breaths. His brother seemed to dissociate when he was pressed on some of the harder aspects to talk about.
Have oral sex with him.
Did you want to do this?
I do not believe he is a good enough actor to pull off this being untrue or fake. He really is too consistent with someone who has experienced abuse for this to be a fake emotion. Because people who perform, and we see this all the time, because there definitely have been people we've watched on videos this year that are performing, get aspects of the performance wrong.
He used objects.
What kind of objects?
And you can, if you watch his brow, you can see the sadness in his eyebrows. This is something that makes him feel sad to talk about in a very real way.
A toothbrush and some sort of shaving utensil brush.
And what would he do with the toothbrush?
Well, this in the bedroom, we'd have what we called object sessions, and just slide my pants down or take my pants off. Sometimes it would be short.
And another thing I want you to keep in mind is the type of details that he's providing. Those types of details are missed oftentimes in that fashion by people putting on a performance. They, in their head, they've got a very clear idea of this is the way that it went. This is the performance I'm going to describe. And they tend to describe things in this almost movie-like fashion. This is somebody who has experienced these things on multiple occasions. This is someone who is talking about it in a very legitimate and real way. So it's hard for me to question anything that he's saying so far.
I just told him that I didn't want to do this, and that it hurt me. And he said that he didn't mean to hurt me, and he loved me.
Once again, the details are too consistent and too accurate with the types of people who perpetrate these types of behaviors for me to believe that he could have fabricated this story. It just seems unbelievable to me. So I know this has been a very hard video to watch. The things they talked about are incredibly heavy, but I thought it was the most important aspects of this video for us to watch was for them to be talking about the things that people might believe that they were most likely to be putting on a performance. There is nothing I saw from nor Eric Menendez nor Lyle Menendez that would implicate in any way that they were being deceptive or not telling the truth. There were elements of this that would make them the best and most well-informed actors in the world if they were in fact being deceptive. There were aspects of what I believe was dissociation, although very brief, from Eric Menendez that I do not think that he could have faked, because it would have not come across that way, and I don't think he would have the knowledge to fake that. I don't think most people, even if they read up and studied how do I fake having trauma, could pull this off, even with a lot of practice. Obviously, there's a lot more footage of them on trial, many, many hours, and if there's areas that people want me to analyze or review, I'm happy to do that. I know this was a heavy and difficult video to watch, but I think that hopefully you're able to learn something about what true trauma looks like and what it looks like on trial versus some of the performances we've seen of people trying to appear
Make your own opinion, but I've got my own opinion. I would have done exactly the same what they did. And people will say, oh, they shouldn't have killed their parents, but that's the only way they could get out. Shame they're in prison. And they should have got manslaughter. But I don't think they should have went to prison. They should have went to somewhere where they could get their brain back. Because even if they get released, I think they're about my age. One is 53, one is 56. Because I'm 58. You're never the same. You're never going to be the same. It's all right putting them in prison, lock them away. What they've been through, the brain is never going to be the same. People say, oh, forget it. You can't. There's always so much. I moved to Liverpool to try and forget it and start a life because I'm 50 odd now. I don't know how long left I got. And you still, even you move different country, different city, you still have the memories of what happened. You don't have the place to see. So when I walk in Liverpool, I haven't got the memories of the place where it happened, but I still got it in my head because when you're a child and that happens to you, you can't forget it. So I try to put nice thoughts in one side of my head and go to that place, and then the other side has got the bad memory, so I try to lock it off. And like Rachel said, she said you've got a box, you've put it in the box and the box open, but she said your box is getting full with the bad memories. You got too much and the box open, close, which she made it sense, true, makes sense, that does. Or a door that you close. So my chapter is open until I die. The chapter closed. I can rest in peace then. But yeah, so, and then I'll put another clip up where he I think that's where the parents, when he talk about when he say how close you are with your brothers.
I need you to walk me through what happened. Part of this process is the two of you reconnecting, growing closer as brothers.
Eric and I killed our parents together, so I'd say that makes us pretty close. us now, right? And they would be proud of us. They would be proud of us.
I thought that getting rid of them was gonna make me feel better. I'm having these nightmares.
You're not getting it. You don't fucking get it, Eric. We did it. We fucking did it.
Hold on a minute. Did you just order a grilled cheese and tap water?
Yeah?
How many shrimp do you have? Like an actual number. Our life was one thing. And we decided we weren't gonna take that anymore.
Unbelievable.
Starting right now. We're gonna demand more out of life. And we are never gonna fucking go back.
You don't murder your parents that way. Literally defacing them. That's not about money. That's about something deeper and darker.
Yeah, so let's see, the family, it just shows you what goes on. You don't know what goes on in people's life, and people don't talk about it. Me, I can talk, but when I talk about it, I start crying and everything, and I just lock myself away and talk. But it's like people said, oh, if you're down, talk. But nobody want to hear your problems. They say it to be kind, but I learnt the way, because I remember I was talking to a lady, and a lady was really depressed, and she said, oh, you can always come and talk to me. And the lady went and talked to her. I was sitting there. As soon as the lady left, that was the one that went funny when I passed my driving test. As soon as she went, Pam, it was her name, she said, every time Diane comes here, she's so depressed. She made me depressed. I wish she come. And I said to her, well, you told her to come here when she's down. Yeah, I say, Ange, but she should know. She shouldn't keep coming all the time. And I thought, oh. And she told me the same thing. And I thought, nah, I won't go. And she said, you never come here and talk. I said, no, it's all right. I sort it out myself. So, yeah, and that put me off telling people to, I talk. But then I say, oh, you got your own problem. It's like Rachel, I talk to and tell about the program. She said, yeah, and she explained. She said, what happened is you watched it, and there's a part there that's triggered off what happened here, and you start remembering, and the box is open, and you start thinking of it, so watching it. Paul said, don't watch programs like that. I said, yeah, but everything has have a trigger with me. Cartoons, anything. That's why I watch a lot of horror movies. I don't watch romantic, because maybe if I was grown up different, I might have like Gone with the Wind, Dirty Dancing, because people go mad over Dirty Dancing. I think I watched it and I thought, what's that great about? She danced and he get her to dance. What great? Ghosts. I watched that. The only thing I like about was the ghost. Everybody crazy about it, and I think, and that's why I like vampires. I wish there was such a thing that you can turn your emotions off. Like when I watch Vampire Diaries, when he turns his emotion off. I wish that. And zombie, because sometimes I feel like when I'm walking, I feel like a zombie. I walk like just my brain is dead. Brain dead, just walking. And people, because sometimes people see me and they say hello and I'm just staring at them. I'm not there. I'm in my happy place and I'm staring. They're saying, all right, Ange, all right. And I'm just staring. And I say, oh, because it's happened to a few people. They say hello and I'm in my happy place. And sometimes they say, oh, you're not with us, are you? You're miles away. If they only knew. When they say that, if they only knew. Because even at work, you're right, Ange, you're right. And I'm going, because I'm gone into my little happy place. Because something has happened and I just want to go there to be happy for a bit and then come back. And that's what I do. And then when I'm walking, people saying hello, that's where I am. And I say, oh, I'm not. I just say to them, oh, I didn't see you. I wasn't. But I've gone there. You can't tell people, oh, you got a place in your brain and you go there when you're down. They think, oh, that's a mad person, which I always said to Paul, I'm not right in the head. And I know, because what you've been through, you're not, up here, you're not right. You never can be. It's like them two lads, they're not right. They got married in prison, and one woman has brought the daughter to him and everything. He's studying and everything. They're done good. And I never I never glorify murderers and that, but them two, I feel their pain because I've been through, not what they've been through, like the objects and that, that's terrible, which you will see, I'll put, and things like that, but I know what they must have went through, the fear and the night. Leave her alone. She's not a toy. Razzie. See, now if I had my table, that would be alright because nothing would knock. Razzie, sit. Go get you what? Leave her alone. Stop biting her. They're playing like little kids. Razzie. Hey, here, sit. Good girl. Honestly. Can't take her anywhere. They said someone's making something in the park that making the dog sick and that, so I've got to watch it when I take her out. Leave it alone, Suki. See, gonna be chaos in a minute. Go on, see that. That's what make me happy having the pets. I got no brother and sister, no family, but the pets make me laugh when I'm down. And it seems like they know when you're down. They come near to you, sit near, lick. They must know. Maybe your body language or something must tell them, and they know. Because when I go lay down, sometimes feel down, I just go and sleep. They must know. So I still ain't recovered. So, but yeah. So I know what they're going through. Because I'm not a person that side on murderers like Jack the Ripper and all them people, Yorkshire Ripper and that. That's horrible, that is. But these two lads I can relate to. Why they kill them. They were only kill their parents. They didn't kill anybody else. And they tried to stop it, so that's the only way they could stop it, by killing them. And people said, oh, they shouldn't have killed them, and they're gone for the money. You can't say that because you're not in that position. You're not in that position to judge someone. Unless you're in that position, then you can judge. But I've been in that position, so I know what it was like, so I don't judge them because I would have done exactly the same if I had a brother. I always say a brother because the reason, if I had a sister, we would have been the same because I think the boys are more stronger. And if you got a sister you always have a boy that's stronger. And I would have liked to have a brother because I think I would have got protected. Like he said, he got protected by his brother. So that's how I would have felt. I had nobody to protect me. My mom was like their mom. She drink, fell off to sleep because she wanted to forget it. She drink, go sleep, and then get up, drink again, go sleep. So that's why when she died, they said she just drink. They told her not to drink. She drink. She wanted to die, so I can understand. And she went back to my dad because she didn't know anywhere and still suffer. And I got her out of it, but she still. And then when she was bad, you wouldn't even let me see her. And then when she died, I didn't even know till somebody told me. And that was 6 years after she died. So you see. So yeah, so 58 now, still going through it. So, but you can't forget it. People say forget, you can't. So, but yeah, I thought I would talk on that. And yeah, so if you ever see me walking the street and saying hello and I'm there, you know, I'm in my happy place. When you say, oh, you're not with us, you're miles away. Yeah, I am miles away because I'm in that happy place. I call it the happy place because I feel happy there. Because that's why I feel safe. I still don't feel safe. I feel safe. Even Paul, because I think, because even Rachel said, even Paul, I've been here nearly 2 years. January will be 2 years, and he hasn't come down Christmas, nothing. When I phone him, he's more to his mom. And I feel my dad done that to me. Now I found someone, they're doing the same, not abuser, but just ignoring. Because when I went to Birmingham and sat there for half an hour on my own because he went to his mom to get insulin because she phoned, I think it's happening again. And I sat there, I thought, yeah, here we go again, here we go. So I just, yeah. So I'm going back in November, but I'm going early to meet Linda. But it's just, yeah. So it's just terrible when you go through that and people say, oh, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't. They don't know. It's like a person, how I can relate it that you can understand. It's like a person who have a pet and the pet die and they're crying and somebody say, what are you crying for? It's only a pet. Unless you go through it, you have a pet and you go through the pet that died, you know what that person going through. Because a lady rabbit died at work and she was crying. I said, I know what you're going through. I said, I've got a pet. I said, people don't know it's a rabbit, but you're still paying for that rabbit because that's your little friend, and she was telling me what he used to do, so you can understand. So a person who hasn't been through abuse, mental torture and that, they don't understand. So when they see, they think, well, can't they just walk away? Why did they have to do this? Why did they have to do that? You can't walk away. You can't, because that person is still there following you. Because when I left home, my dad still followed me, and my friend, she had to stand in between us because I wouldn't give him my wages, and he had a sword to a machete, because black people carry machete, and she saw it in the jacket, and she had to stand. She said, if I didn't stand you, what would he done? I said he would have took it out and might be dead. Maybe good thing I'll be dead. And yeah, and then people saw him because he couldn't show his true self because he got frustrated, he couldn't get the money, and people were saying to me, Jesus Christ, he looked so nice, he was so, I said, yeah. I said, that's right. God, I couldn't believe the way he behaved. Because he came up to Diane, the one who went funny, jumped over a fence banging. She said, we couldn't even open the door. We called the police. They were so frightened. I said, yeah. I said, that's what we live with. I said, from I was 6, I can remember. 5, I can't remember. Maybe something happened, but I couldn't remember. From 6. Same like, I think Lyle was the same. He said he remembered from his 6. So 5, you can't remember. But some kids can remember from their 4 or 5. I couldn't remember. But yeah, so that's right. So I'll put another clip that you can see. I can't remember what this one is, but yeah, I'm just putting them up to show you bits what happened, and then if you watch the program, you know. So I'm just giving you a little bit of clip so you know what to expect if you go through.
Everyone asks why we kill our parents. Maybe now people can understand the truth. My name is Eric Menendez. My name is Lyle Menendez, calling you from Donovan Correctional Facility. Lyle was the only person that had ever protected me. What happened that night is very well known, but so much hasn't been told.
If anyone had written this for a script in Hollywood, the Hollywood people would have gone, no way.
The Menendez case is one of the most infamous criminal trials in America. The brothers accused of the murder of their wealthy parents in Beverly Hills.
It was like an incredible soap opera.
Jose was a successful businessman. Kitty was the caring mother. 2 boys, emblematic of wealth and privilege. Why would you kill your parents?
As the prosecutor, I knew it was plain old greed.
It was a media spectacle from the beginning. So we were not the ones who told the story of our life. We looked like the perfect family, but behind the walls, something very wrong was happening.
What did he do to you?
I'm sorry.
Now there's the TikTok movement to free the Menendez.
There's a new generation that supports the brothers.
People are looking at the case with fresh eyes.
2 kids don't commit this crime for money. And there's people that believe I shouldn't spend the rest of my life in prison.
That judge was determined he was going to get a conviction.
These kids went through some horrible things. I'm telling you now, it's all fake. And if you don't know it's fake, that pisses me off.
There is no evidence saying they're not guilty.
We would much rather lose the murder trial than talk about the 6 secrets of the family.
Yeah, it's terrible, and that's why they behave like that. And people, because the trial, I think why they got some, because OJ was black, and he killed his wife, his ex-wife, and that bloke that she went with, he killed it. Because the way they said, I'm sure he killed it. And he got away with it. And to me, the reason he got away, I'm going to say it, because he was black. They thought if we put him in prison and let the 2 brothers out, they're going to say, oh, you let the 2 white lads out, but you put the black man in. So they had to do that, didn't they? So the 2 kids suffer. But what they could have done and said, well, okay. And they had evidence of what they've been through. The bloke who wanted to be a pop star record thing, he done that to the kid as well. They had their cousins saying it. They had people saying it. He told his college friend. And they had the evidence, everything. They done it at the first trial. The second one, they didn't. And they said we're not going to use it. So the jury didn't. No cameras, nothing, because people was making it like a story thing. Making it because they said the two lads was good looking and everything, and the woman was crap and all that stuff. And that's why they got that sentence. Because people didn't, and then afterwards, and they couldn't get an appeal, so they're like, half of their life is in prison. So I do feel for them. Now I see the story, and I've searched it on YouTube and read it on Google and that, and now I know, because everybody said they kill their parents for the money. Oh, they're greedy buggers, they kill their parents. It's like that Bamba. Well, we know he killed them people for money, because it come out and it show. If you look at the case of Bamba, he killed his adopted parents, he killed for money. Him, I don't have such a good thing. He's locked up. Him, I don't, because he killed his adopted sister. She was mad and he played on it and thing. But these two, I've researched and done it, and I can see it, and I think they should have, they shouldn't have gone to prison. And the reason I do these videos, when I'm dead and gone, these videos still circulate around the internet. So you might be watching this, I'm dead and gone now, maybe 20 odd years ago. You'll be watching this 20 years from now. And it circulates, and people watch it and think, oh, she makes sense there. And they look into it, and then they start, so it might help someone in maybe 10 years from now, 20 years from now, somebody look at this video and think, yeah, she's saying sense there. And then somebody who's 20 years advanced, we all dead and gone, I'll be dead and gone maybe 20 years, and the two brothers might be dead and gone, and they look at it and think, oh yeah, and they will look at cases. So anybody who's suffering from this kind of thing will get more help, because people will start talking about it. And then you get doctors and psychologists will look at videos and think, that person makes sense what they're saying, that's true, so we're going to have a look into that and see. And they might help somebody that won't suffer long as we have suffered, and they can get someone to get them to forget it and live a normal and happy life. So that's why I do these things. Sometimes I talk and people might say, oh, she talk a lot of shit, but it could help someone. It's like my dyslexic, I talk maybe 20, 30 odd years, somebody look at that and think, oh, and they might try something and then it work, and then it will help other dyslexic people, and people will understand more about dyslexic. And they think, oh, when you go through a trauma, is that what happened to the brain? And this is what happened. So yeah, because like Rachel said, you're going through PSD trauma thing. So yeah, so that's what happened. And if you can help somebody by talking about your experience or saying what's happened to you or what you do, that'd be good. I feel happy. I haven't achieved anything in my life. And if that can help somebody 20, 30, 50 years from now, great. And that's why I do YouTube, to help. I don't do it like some container do it to get money and get stuff. I do it as a hobby, and I do it to try and help people. So when I have anything happen to me, like when I moved to Liverpool, got scammed by the landlord and done that, that will help someone, because they will look at it and think, oh, I make sure then I get the keys first before I do that, because look what happened to this lady. And then like abuse, oh, I see, that's what you got to do, okay. Then they do that. When you have a pet or anything, you talk. That's what I do. That's what I do the channel for, to help people, to help someone watching this. Maybe someone's watching this, going through it, but watching it when the person is not there, watching it at work or somewhere at a friend, and they're looking, they think, oh, I can talk to someone then, and they might understand what I'm going through, and that helps, and I feel better. It's helping someone. And if more people go through it and talk, help, it's good. Instead of what you should do when somebody's done something, that's what I do. I research and I look at things like them too. Now the reason I lock on to them, because I've gone through similar to them, not actually what they've gone through, but similar stuff like what he says, which I won't say because I don't want to start getting upset. But certain things that he says I've been through, and that's the reason because I know what it's like. And people say, oh, they done this, they done that, but they couldn't get away from it. Okay, there was a lad, there was 22 and 18. But like the man said, one had a mind of a 6-year-old, the other one has a 10-year-old. Because when you're going through that, your brain is not developed properly. Your brain is shock. It's like people get shock treatment. Because you're going through that, your brain shock, think, what's happening? Why is my dad doing this to me? Why? And then you ask kids out there, and you see kids father pick them up, lift them up, buy them ice cream, take them shopping, read them bedtime story, you see in film, you say, well, my dad doesn't do that, he does this, he does that. Is that right? So the brain is shocked, so it's not developed. So the brain just stop there, thinking, trying to, so the brain, what it's doing, it's trying to work out what's happening, what's this, and then you're trying to, like me, trying to learn to read and write. The brain says, well, I can't cope with learning to read when this is happening. So you, at school, you're trying to read, but your brain is saying, when I go home, this is going to happen. When I go home, this is going to happen. So you can't concentrate. Like some kids get up, the mom and dad make them a breakfast, take them to school, singing, everything. They know when they finish school, they're going to go home, sit with mom and dad, talk about the school, get help with homework, watch telly, get tucked in bed, bedtime story, have a bath, bedtime story. Happy next day. Same the weekend, they go out somewhere, take the kids out somewhere to the park and that. But when that don't happen to you, you just fear that the weekend's going to be this, that. Your brain's not developed. It's just stunted. So when you are an adult, your brain's not developed. It's just still a child, like a kid, because your brain's not developed. It's still stunned. It's shock, and the brain's just stopped growing. It's just stopped. And then as you get older, it's absorbing slowly, but you still got a mind of a child because it's not developed properly. You try to develop it, but still you've got that stunt in your brain. It's just shock. So like them in prison, they've done everything. They've studied, they've done this, done that. But they've had flashbacks, I bet. I bet they sit in the cell or sit wherever they are, sit there and they're thinking, and something will trigger it off, and then, oh yeah, something they see and it start again. And the brain's just shock. Because the brain's shocked. Because when something happened to you, you're shocked, and that's it. You're not developed properly. It's like kids, innit? When something happened to them, they don't grow their proper height and that. So that's how I can explain it. So I know that's what's happened. So yeah. So I thought I'd talk about that. And I know it's a bit of a gloomy video and that, but it's good to talk about it. And like I said, it will help someone in the future. Hopefully when I'm dead and gone and the video's circling around, at least it's there and people will say, yes, that goes left them a little bit of help for us. Might not be much, but they might look at it and think, yeah, do you make sense there? Because I'm no doctor, I'm no psychologist, nothing, but I work it myself. And when I see programs, when they say people who've been abused, been mentally abused, sexual abuse, the brain is this age, that age, and then I work it out myself. It's no genius. You don't have to be a scientist. When you go through that, your brain is a 10-year-old, 12-year-old. Yeah, because it's not developed. It's shock. Something happened to you. When that happened to you, your heart beat, you're breathing heavy, your brain is saying, what's happening? It can't compute. You think, no, this shouldn't be happening. The brain is just trying to cope with it, but it can't cope because it's a child's brain. An adult brain can cope. When you're my age, things happen, you can cope. Like when I go to work, something happen. I go to work, for instance, the other day, I come out, I finish my room, I come out, this bloke was shouting at me. What the heffing this going on? What the? Because what happened, the smoke alarm went off. Because what it is, on a Wednesday, we have the smoke alarm test, and it goes off 3 times. So it keep on going long. So he come out, and he was on the 9th floor, I was on the 5th floor. I said, oh, it's testing the alarm. He said it heffing was long on this heffing, and he was actually getting upset with me, telling her abusive language. And I just stand there and said, yeah, well, that's what happened. I said, if you got a problem, just go down to reception. I'm older, I understand. I've had experience with people who get upset doing care work. I've had people who come at me with a knife, trying to kill me, cut my hair, everything, because there was schizophrenic. So I had that experience with that. So when that happened, you get older, you know how to cope with it. So when the person come, like now I go out and somebody shout, I walk away. If they follow me, I say, what's your problem? What are you shouting for? You know what to say, you know how to avoid it. But when you're a child and you're not developed, you've got no experience, you've got nothing, you're a child, and that happened, you can't cope. The brain's not coping because it doesn't know what to come back with. That happened, you think, well, what do I do? Where do I go? What's happening? And you just like there staring and thinking, what's this? Why is it happening? But if that happened to you as hold a person, you know how to get out of it, you know what to say, you know how to talk, you know what to do. But when you're a child, you can't. It's just, your brain is just not coping. It's just going all over the place. It's just confused inside the head. It's just saying, well, what's happened? Because I watched a program, the man said dyslexic people got this. So you look at the brain, it's like a little ball. So it's got all different connections like electric, and when you cut one off, one doesn't work. So the brain's thinking, well, what's this happening? It can't cope. So you're growing up with that trauma. You haven't coped with what happened. So as you get older, you still can't crumpy end with it, can't cope with it. And you're trying to cope with it now, but you can't because you had that trauma as a child. So you can't cope with it, so you lock it away. So when you see anything, it just triggered that you couldn't cope with it. So yeah, so that's what happened. So when people say, no, they should, you can't, it's just, yeah, just trauma in it. So yeah, that's how I see it. And if anybody in the future see it, I think they will say, anybody who can read and write, who's a doctor or professor, will look at it. The way I say it might not be right, but they might put it in a way that sounds the same as I said it, but in a different way. So, because it's like Paul, when sometimes he say, oh, I try to break it down to make people understand it the way I would understand it. That's how I would understand it. So I say it that way. So somebody will say it different, who is intelligent, who's a doctor, and that will say it different. So yeah. But yeah, so that's right. That's what's long video, but I thought I'd get it out there. So if anybody watches it, yeah, just that's what happened with us. So with me, so I can imagine with other people as well. But you get on with life, don't you? You just try to do the best you can, cope with it and do it. So I'm trying my best to cope. I know sometimes I can't cope with it. It's just too much. I suppose if I had someone I could talk to, like a brother, talk to, that we both would know, but I've got no one I can talk to. So I just make my little happy place, go there. Have my little happy place, my little happy memories, my little happy brother there. I always wanted a brother. So I put one there, and then me and him will be singing like that car. So yeah, so I just try and do it. So, but yeah, folks, if you're watching, thank you for watching that. Hope it helps anyone out there who's suffering and makes sense of what's happening. And if you got someone who's going through it and have some time they feel low or they feel funny and you think, what's wrong with that person? Oh, I can't do nothing right. Maybe that will help you to understand the person, and you can help and understand more. Just talk. Sometimes they don't want to talk, just try. And sometimes go out, if they like something, buy them something to make them feel like they belong and they're wanted. Don't just ignore, even if it's a bar of chocolate or a flower or something they saw in the shop and say, oh, I would like it. And to you, it just might be silly, but to them, they like it. Just get it for them if you can afford it, or take them out somewhere, or cook them a meal, or do something to make them feel that they're appreciated and wanted, not like there's some rubbish on the floor that because that happened to them they're not worthy, because that's how I feel sometimes. And sometimes I go out and just buy things and cheer myself up, get for the flats, things I'm getting for the flat, I'm happy. Like now I get in a kettle Friday, I feel happy because I've been without a kettle for 3 months, and the kettle I wanted was out of stock, so I had to wait and got it because I wanted that red smudge kettle that makes music. See, I like things with sound. So, but yes, so what I will do is what he did at the end. I thought this was funny. That makes me laugh. Some of the parts in it makes me laugh, and I like, because it's the kind of thing I would do. That's the kind of thing I would do. I'm like that one, I got them mixed up, Lyle and, is it Lyle and Kyle? Lyle and Kyle, the one that's lost his hair. I would be like him, because sometimes I behave like that. So like he said, I will leave it to the two poets. What was it? The two poets. Girl, I gotta miss you, I think. Well, you'll see it. But yeah, thanks for listening. Cheers.
Final words to you. I will leave this to two poets who are much better at this than I. In their words, girl, I'm gonna miss you.
I knew it from the start, you would break my heart, but still I had to play this painful part. You wrapped me around your little bitty finger with your magic smile. You kept They'll be hanging on the lover's cross. Oh,